when it comes to guys that are on self-improvement, there is a large cohort of people who are just like they new on self-improvement. They've just hit that first stage of like enlightenment, and they're riding that first wave of motivation, and everything just feels like it's just good, right? Like, oh, I'm waking up, I started going to the gym, I started eating cleaner, I'm getting like beginner gains, like it's just all fresh for them. Like it's a whole new perspective of like, wow, my life could really be different, right? And there's a decent chunk of people on self-improvement who are in that stage, right? But I know there's a large percentage of people who are like me, where you've been on self-improvement for a while, but you've kind of like stalled, right? And for those people who are in the second cohort of people I just spoke about, I want you to like just look back and take stock of how far you've actually come, right? And if you're anything like me, you actually have made significant progress. Like, forget looking back at like pictures of me like a while, like 10 years ago, like 5 years ago, right? Even like when I truly started self-improvement again, like I think it was like 3 years ago, right? Forget that. Even just looking back like 6 months ago, like I've changed so much, like in the way I look, and like just my life has changed so much, and I've improved so much, right? Like I can look back and be like, I've improved a lot. But also I haven't improved anywhere near as much as I want to be, as much as I want to improve. Like my life hasn't changed as drastically as I'd like it to, right? And if you're anything like me, you've hit that level where you've hit that point where you want to hit that like, next level, right? It's like, okay, cool. I've gone to gym. I've built like some muscles. I've lost some fat. I've got like a decent physique. But I want to take it to that next level. I want to have like a perfect 10 out of 10 physique, right? It's like, okay, I've learned things about business. I've learned like how to be better and like my job or whatever it is, and I've learned like all the things. I've learned all this like email marketing and whatever, but it's like, and I made a couple of dollars from it, a couple of $100 or whatever, but it's like, now I want to hit that next level where I'm making like 10k. Like I want to make life-changing money, right? Or even like just in your looks, it's like, okay, cool, I like dress better now, I have like a cleaner haircut or whatever, but it's like, I want to get to that next level where I've like completely changed, and like I'm like mesmerizing, right? Like you got into a stage now where you want to hit that next level, like mentally, financially, physically, right? And also in like your journey with God, right? And actually I skipped one where I spoke about like mentally. Even that, like, yeah, okay, I'm somewhat consistent with my habits. Like I go to the gym like 3 times a week, whatever, but it's like you want to hit that level where it's like, I'm not waking up on a Saturday morning and like immediately going to my phone. Like I'm waking up and I've got things to do. Like you want to hit like, you want to be able to look back and be like, oh, I was damn consistent, right? Like you want to have like a James Bond like mentality, or whatever it is. Like you want to hit that next level, right? And I think I've driven the point home now. If you're at that point in your life, right, something serious needs to change. And it's all cool when you're first starting self-improvement. Like again, everything is just improving. Like it's so nice learning about how much your life could change. But like now when you really want to make serious strides, like life-changing strides, you need to change like how you do things, right? And the reason you struggle with that is that it's a self-image thing, right? And when you get to this point, one thing I've been learning is that it's a shift. It's no longer just about, oh, okay, I'm just gonna start going to the gym because it's an improvement because I wasn't going to the gym, right? I just want to go to the gym like 3 times a week consistently and whatever, right? It's like, no. Now you need to completely, if you want to hit that next level in your physique, right, you need to completely change your mentality from, like, you need to do deep inner work. And I think that's the theme of this video, deep inner work on your self-image, right? It's no longer just, I'm going to the gym because I'm on self-improvement and I want to like gain some muscle, like I'm riding the wave of motivation. It's, oh damn, like I need to be very consistent, not only in gymming, but also in eating, right? But not only like just being consistent, right? But like now when I go to the gym, I need to be very intentional. Like my sets need to be proper. Like I can't just be, just doing like, oh, I'm just doing 3 sets of 12. It's like, no. Now I'm making sure that every set I'm doing, or every time that I leave a gym session, I've gone to failure. Like I feel like I've really worked my muscles. It's like, that's a whole different mentality. Now it's no longer just dragging yourself to the gym to just do some lifts. It's like, now I'm going there with intention, with purpose, right? And you need to do that very, very consistently, right? And in order to do that, you need to have the image of someone who is like that, right? It's like, that's a whole different level. And I'm using the gym analogy because it's quite an easy one, but it also applies to like the rest of your life, right? So to get to the theme of the video, in order to do that, as I said, you need to change your self-image, right? So now I've spoken a lot about this book called Psycho-Cybernetics, and I will recommend it until the day I die. Like after the Bible, like this book is incredible. Like it'll change your life, bro. It is Wow. He did say it himself in the book that it's the only self-improvement book you will ever need. And I agree with him, right? Because, and I've also seen like Hamza made a video, and I've seen like, I've always believed it, like you need to change your identity so that everything else sort of becomes easier, right? And I always remember what Hamza said, where it's like, at first, like it'll feel like it feels like you're swimming upstream, like you're swimming against the current, right? Waking up every day is a drag, doing like the good habits is a drag, and you want to switch that to a point where it feels like you're swimming downstream, like the current is working with you, right? Like your self-image is working with you, and this in this analogy, the current is your self-image, right? So if your self-image is of someone who's not consistent, who's not like a high-level thinker, you're not like a high-level performer, but you're trying to do the things to be a high-level performer, you're gonna be clashing, right? The current is gonna be going against you. But if your self-image flips, right, and it works with where you want to be, like you view yourself as somebody who actually is a high performer, you're very consistent, you expect you expect and accept a high level of performance only. Like that's all you deal with, right? Once self-image is like that, and now you're acting like that as well, then you're working with the current is working with you. It's a lot easier, right? And I'm not saying easier in terms of like, oh, life is going to be easy and everything, but I mean like instead of like waking up and like now you all your energy, bro, like instantly from the moment it's like the alarm goes off, you're fighting yourself to be like, should I get out of bed, should I not? It's like, no, all of a sudden alarm goes off, you're out of bed. Hell, you're even out of bed before the alarm goes off, right? And you're straight to the gym. There's no debates, anything like that, and all your mental energy is being fixated on making sure that every set you're doing, you're giving it your all, and you're really contracting like those muscles, and you're building properly. Like that's a whole different mindset shift, and I think it's very important to change your self-image. Now, how do you change your self-image? I have made countless videos on this this year, because psycho-cybernetics is incredible. But basically, you can go watch my psycho-cybernetics summary, or like how to reinvent yourself. I think that's one of the video titles as well. Yeah, it's incredible. Like you go watch those in terms of like learning about true behavioral change. In this video, I'm just going to go over it like briefly, right? But basically, the way you change it is through visualizations. And I spoke earlier about your self-image, right? Your brain cannot tell the difference between lived experiences and imagined experiences, right? And I hate using this example, but it's like the most like clear one I can use. I learned it from Hamza, unfortunately. But basically, you can get like an erection without like a girl being present, because like your brain can't tell, it cannot tell, right? And also like when you look at like people deal like masturbation and all that, it's like that thought, like imagining, is more than enough for you to like do it. You don't need to actually be having sex to do that, right? And that's a prime example of your brain not being able to tell lived experiences from imagined experiences. Another example I'll use is there was a city where there was like a traumatic, I think it was like a bombing or something. It was something really bad happened, and there was like news coverage over 2 weeks, right? And they took the brains of the people who were actually there at the site where the traumatic thing happened, and the people who watched 15 minutes of news coverage every day for 2 weeks, right? And the people who watched news coverage, they had a more traumatic response to the topic of conversation being brought up than the people who were actually there, which is insane, right? And another example, I think that will drive the point home, that was used in the book, is that they took groups of beginners, right? They took 2 groups of beginners who'd never played basketball before, right? And they gave them a week or whatever it was to practice like shooting, right? One group had to actually go there and physically practice shooting the ball, and then the other group had to do 20 minutes of visualizations every single day, right, of them scoring, right? They never touched a basketball, and then I think at the end of the experiment, they put the groups together, and then they did like a competition, and basically the group that did the visualizations won, like it was clear. And that is insane. They didn't touch a basketball, but they visualized, and then when they did get it, they were just scoring. Right, that's big. That's a prime example of your brain not being able to tell lived experiences from imagined experiences. Now, visualizations. What is the psychology behind them changing you, right? And we've spoken about self-image and how that affects your the way you act, like your habits and everything, right? So visualizations is simply taking advantage of the fact that your brain can't tell the difference between lived experiences and imagined experiences. So you're visualizing who you want to be, and I think in the book, basically for 21 days, every day you want to do 30 minutes. of visualizations. Like visualize what the ideal version of you would be doing, right? In whatever circumstance you want it to be, right? But 30 minutes of vivid visualization. So if you're like visualizing, I know the basic way I started was that I'd visualize a routine. I'd be like, okay, if I was living my dream life and I was my ideal self, what would I be doing tomorrow morning? Oh no, what would I be doing the whole of tomorrow? And I visualize from start to finish. And you have to visualize like from the moment your alarm goes off, what is he feeling? It's like, oh, I'm the type of person who wakes up early to go to the gym. Like there's no non-negotiable, blanket off, alarm off, instantly like you get up. And then you picture like, what is he feeling? Oh, I'm feeling like kind of tired, but I'm telling myself this. Like it has to be very, very vivid, right? You have to very vivid. The more vivid, the more difficult it is for your brain to tell the difference, right? And that over time, over the 21 days, it changes like your subconscious brain. And your subconscious brain, we can go over this, I've gone over this before, but your subconscious brain is basically, it's your self-image, and it's what directs what you're going to do, and you cannot fight your subconscious brain. You need to work with it, but that's why you can't do like the whole willpower thing. It has to be a self-image change. But yeah, do the visualizations. It will change your life, right? And another thing I would just recommend is doing weekly debriefs, right? If you want to hit that next level, you need to constantly be analyzing yourself, analyzing your life, analyzing your mistakes, and like correcting yourself as quickly as possible, right? Because we have a long way to go. Like when it comes to doing inner work and like self-image, a lot of work to do, right? So you need to do like the weekly debriefs, and the weekly debrief is basically like you just take stock of what happened this week, and you write like what issues did I deal with this week that I don't want to that I want to improve on, right? And then you just write. It's like journaling, like it's just thinking. Just think about your life basically and where you're taking it, and you're doing that every week. It's kind of like you set yourself a direction for where you want to go, and it's like you're driving, you're like not swimming, you're sailing on the sea, and it's like you're kind of going off a bit. You're recalibrating the compass to aim you exactly where you want to go. That's all like weekly debriefs are, so you don't end up halfway across the world, or completely away from where you want to be. But yeah, you guys let me know what you think of the topic in the comment section below, and hit subscribe to join the Self-Improvement Brotherhood. And until next time, I'll see you boys.